What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bullshot Darts. In this one, I'm going to be going over the return of Phil Taylor, Godzilla vs. Kong, and the Zack Snyder Justice League cut. But first, please make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button, drop this video a thumbs up, and follow Bullshot Darts on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram as well. All right, guys, so the big news is the return of Phil Taylor. Phil Taylor, the GOAT of darts, 16-time world champion, retired back in 2018 after making it to the finals of the World Championship, but then losing to Rob Cross. So now he has announced that he's coming back. And he's not coming back to the main tour or anything like that, but they're starting a new series. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a series tournament, but it's the Senior World Championship. And this is going to be for players that are over 50 years old. So I think this is super cool that they're doing something like this, because darts is one of those sports that you can pretty much play your whole life. You know, there's never, well, I shouldn't say there's never a time that you physically can't play, but since there's really not much, you know, physical effort into it, you can, as long as you're able to stand at the line, throw your darts and retrieve them, you can play darts. So a lot of players don't even reach their peak until like their 40s, whereas most sports, you know, you're retired well before you're 40, unless you're Tom Brady and you're in your 40s and you're still winning Super Bowls. But darts, I mean, you can basically play up into your 70s and 80s if you're able to stand at the board and throw your darts. So this gives an opportunity for these older players, these older legends, to come back and have a world championship. So I think that's going to be super exciting to watch. And, you know, Phil Taylor being the GOAT, I mean, obviously we're all excited that he's going to come back and play. Now, another thing I'm excited about this is that John Part's going to be a part of it. And John Part, you know, he's one of the biggest overall darts legends, but more specifically in North America, he is hands down the biggest legend that North America has as far as darts go. And like I said, he's #1 North America legend, and overall darts, he's still one of the biggest legends. So it's going to be really excited to see him back. You know, me being in the CDC, I had the honor to play John Part, so that was really cool. And, you know, I see him around at the tournament sometime. Well, not really as of late because of the whole COVID situation, but so it's going to be cool to see him again on TV, you know, playing along the likes of, you know, John Lowe, Phil Taylor, Adams. I don't remember who else is announced, but they're still going to be announcing more players for this championship. So, and one thing I really wish Van Barneveld, like when he announced that he was coming back and qualified at Q School, it was so exciting and everyone was so happy for him. But now that they've announced this, I really wish that he would have held off on that and just become a part of this. You know, how cool would it be to see Phil Taylor and Van Barneveld play again against each other? You know, those were always some of the coolest matches because, well, I mean, we all know the stories. They're both like two of the biggest legends, and then Van Barneveld came over PDC and there were just huge matchups. And hopefully it's not completely ruled out. I know Van Barneveld, you know, had some health issue. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he like fainted at one of the last tournaments. So hopefully he's doing okay. And obviously he needs to take care of his health before anything. But hopefully if he is able to come back to darts, I wonder if he will have that opportunity to maybe try to qualify for the senior league or championship, or if they'll just give him a spot. I don't know. But either way, I just like really hope that Van Barneveld can somehow become a part of this, because I just think, you know, that would be a great addition to an already exciting new event that the PDC will be putting on. So now on to some movie stuff. You know, with COVID and everything, there really hasn't been that many big movie releases. But in the last few weeks, we've had two huge releases, and that's Godzilla vs. Kong and Zack Snyder Justice League on HBO Max. Quick side note before I get into that, I think it's funny because I signed up for HBO Max just for the Snyder League, for the Snyder Cut. And my whole plan was to just subscribe, watch it, I'll keep it for the month, and then cancel before the next billing cycle, because I mean, I already have Netflix, Hulu, all that other stuff, and I didn't really just want to add on another thing, and I don't really sit down and watch too much TV. But then I found out that Godzilla vs. Kong was in that same billing cycle, and Mortal Kombat. So I was like, dang, I'm going to get the Snyder Cut, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Mortal Kombat all for $15. Well, HBO Max caught on. They realized that all three of those movies were in the same billing cycle, so they moved Mortal Kombat back a week. So still super excited for that one. Anyways, we're going to start with Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but overall, I absolutely loved the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun and super awesome. Now, the thing is, when you go into a Godzilla movie or a King Kong movie, or pretty much just like any big monster movie in general, you don't expect an amazing story, right? You basically get through all the human stuff just to get to the monster stuff. With Godzilla vs. Kong, it's no different. Don't go into this movie thinking that you're going to get some great story and, basically just a great story, I guess. All the human stuff is bad, very boring. When me and my girlfriend started watching it, I told her, I was like, hey, we're going to watch Godzilla vs. Kong. No phones, no talking. Like, we're sitting down and we're going to watch this movie. Well, we slowly realized that all the human parts were so bad that we ended up talking through most of the human parts and just mainly talking, just making fun of it because it was so bad. So yeah, don't expect a good story, but all the Godzilla stuff and Kong stuff and Mechagodzilla stuff, super awesome. The battles were amazing. When King Kong and Godzilla first meet, it's just like super cool because, it's kind of like the first time we saw Batman and Superman on the screen together, or Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman together, or the Avengers all together. It's just kind of one of those cool things like, holy cow, we're seeing both of these huge monsters like in the same shot together, and King Kong is throwing a right hook right into Godzilla's face. Like, it was awesome. Some other things is, basically anything bad I can say about the story just all boils down to the story. It just wasn't put together well. They relied on a bunch of just randomness to get through the story. A lot of stuff doesn't make any sense, to the point to where you're just kind of laughing like, how did we even get here and how is this even happening? So Godzilla vs. Kong, I recommend if you like just fun movies, action-packed. Of course, the fighting scenes between Godzilla and Kong are awesome, and then when Mechagodzilla gets involved, oh, I wanted that 180. Another thing that I thought was kind of funny is that it almost seemed like Godzilla and King Kong changed sizes throughout the movies. There was parts where they were showing King Kong and it's like, oh, he looks small. And then there's times you see Godzilla and he looks small. But then by the end of the movie, they're, in the middle of a big city, Hong Kong, and they're as big as and even bigger than some of the skyscrapers. Whereas like earlier in the movie, it didn't look like they could tower over a skyscraper at all. So I thought that was kind of funny because it just seemed like they were playing with their sizes a little too much. And there just didn't seem like there was much consistency in that. All right, now on to the Zack Snyder Justice League cut. This movie was also incredible. I'm not a huge comic book fan anymore. Just kind of grew out of it a little bit. And a big reason is because of COVID. Because, obviously, everything that was exciting to look forward to just stopped and everything. So, I'm not the hugest fan anymore. But I will say this movie, really got me back into it. So I'm excited for that. Zack Snyder's my favorite director, so when he was announced to be the head of DC, the DC universe, and, do Batman vs. Superman and Justice League and just kind of overseeing all the other movies, I was super excited. And then he dropped down and Joss Whedon took over for Justice League. And Justice League, the original cut, was just really bad. I didn't really enjoy it at all. Obviously, it's cool seeing the characters on screen. But even then, he changed the characters to where it was like, this isn't Batman. This isn't Superman. It just felt really weird. And what Zack Snyder did is he changed all of that. So the whole tone of the movie was different. And obviously, the story was still going to be pretty similar. Steppenwolf, mother boxes, all that good stuff, yada, yada. but it was a much more cohesive story. So if you watched, Batman vs. Superman, the theatrical cut versus the Ultimate Edition, in the theater cut, it kind of seemed like it was jumping around, right? They went from A to D to, and just all these, there was nothing in between, like A to D to F and just to Z. And then before you know it, you're at Z, the end of the movie. What the Ultimate Edition did was it took you step by step from A to B to C to D. There was really no jumping around, and that's what this movie did big time with Justice League 2. Now, of course, that's much easier to do when you're releasing a 4-hour movie compared to 2 hours or whatever Justice League was. And of course, Zack Snyder didn't have WB down his throat telling him what to do. But with this movie, you get an incredible story. And so much of the story that is in this movie was completely missed out in the original Justice League. So Cyborg in the original Justice League was basically nothing. Like, he didn't have any huge moments. There really wasn't much going on with Cyborg. You didn't really learn much about him. He didn't have many moments. One could argue that Cyborg is the main character in the new Justice League. He's probably the biggest deal as far as being connected to the whole story out of all the characters. And it was great to see because that's what we deserve. That was Zack Snyder's vision. That's what we should have had in the original movie. But thankfully we got it in this movie. Another thing too, like I said, a lot of the characters were different. If Batman actually seemed like Batman in this movie. Aquaman seemed like Aquaman, Wonder Woman seemed like Wonder Woman. If you saw Age of Ultron, the original the theatrical Justice League kind of reminded me of Age of Ultron, where the corniness of the movie just really wrecked it. I absolutely loved the first Avengers, but then when Age of Ultron came out, I was just like, okay, this has kind of taken me out of the whole Avengers thing because I just wasn't a big fan. I just thought it was more corny than anything. And that's big time what I had with Justice League. I was like, I love seeing the characters, but this is just too corny. Stupid jokes, making the characters do things that they normally wouldn't do. So it was just really annoying. And so just being able to see Snyder's version of all that has been awesome. And they took out some stuff too from the original movie. If you saw the theatrical cut, there was the whole story about the family in the area where Steppenwolf was taking over. There was absolutely none of that in this movie. At the end of the movie, the final battle, Superman and Flash were just running around saving people. And none of that was in this movie, so I'm happy they took that out. And I guess there's really not much else I could say about it without giving away any spoilers, but just basically, it was freaking awesome. 4 hours watch time, but there wasn't any boring parts. Never was I sitting there watching thinking, man, when's the next scene gonna pop on? Or when is this movie gonna... Well, actually, I found myself asking when's this movie gonna end, because there was a couple times where I thought it was over, and then they kept going, which I'm not mad about by any means, but I definitely thought that it was gonna be over a few times. But they also broke up the movie in, I don't remember if they said chapters or parts, but there was 5 or 6 different parts of the movie. So it was perfect to, get up, take a quick pee break, grab some food or whatever. And it just helps make the movie a lot more, digestible. So you're not just sitting through a 4-hour story. You're kind of sitting through multiple 40-minute stories. But it's all the same story. But having them break up the parts just helps with that. All right, guys, so that's it for this one. This is my new series called Bullchat. My mission with Bullchat is to just help kind of bring new people to the sport of darts. If I'm making just darts-related content, pretty much only dart players are going to see my videos, which is great because I love when the dart players come here. I love helping them get better, or I help loving you guys get better and all that stuff. But if I want to grow the sport of darts, I need to make my content that non-dart players are going to want to come see. So my mission with this is that non-dart players come to these videos. They see me talking, throwing darts, and they think oh, that looks pretty cool. So if you found yourself on this video and you don't throw darts, guys, buy a dartboard, hang it up on your board, throw a little bit here and there. Who knows, you might end up absolutely loving it. Go out, throw darts, join the community, and help grow the sport of darts. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and shoot well.